and they start their day before the sun comes up to be where they gotta be so they can earn their paycheck, cracky. Understand? Then one day, when it's time to put the fucking squeeze on somebody, they got a bankroll, you know, and they deep into the funds, and they get themselves a nice piece of radio or a little watt, more watt. They throw an antenna up, maybe a remote station with a laptop, cracky, and they still got money for the bills, they got money for the rent, they got money for their kids, whether it be putting food on the table or sending out the child support. Hey, cracky, it takes more than a little baby mushroom to be a man, cracky, and you ain't got none of that. Fuck, you ain't even got teeth in your mouth. Goddamn, you have a communal toilet. Shit.
Trying so much to score points. You know, I liked him better when he's screaming his head off, making threats about how he's coming.
You know what I like, cracky? How my amplifier is built to be keyed down all day. My amplifier, yo, cracky, I can key this amp, that key, this amplifier, with a rubber band for 24 hours and don't lose a transistor. Hey, cracky, you got a lot of catching up to do, and the time is running out for you. Let me tell you, I just buried my father-in-law not so long ago. The hole was $18,000, just the hole. The box was another $4 grand. The wake was another $6. We ain't gonna talk about the flowers, cracky. Hey, cracky, in the end, you're gonna have two choices. You're gonna have the choice of donating your body for medical research, where they just dump your body in the field and they watch decompose, or somebody gonna take pity on your ass and have you cremated and dump your ashes in the garbage.
Well, you know what, that's a nice story. But you know, I couldn't see a low-life scumbag like you doing that for a woman's daddy who cheated on him because he ain't a man.
Cross the chuggy monkey. Crush him. Cross the chuggy monkey.
Story, dude. Matter of fact, I got some video games on you that make me just want to sit back with my feet up and laugh.
Hey, Richie, forget about it. I told you a couple of weeks ago that your mom was going to get you in a lot of shit, Raggy. Goddamn, I heard Donnie Brasco key to Mike yesterday. Fuck.
Put your guns up your ass, Birdie.
I heard Donnie Brasco key to Mike yesterday after fucking 30 years. Oh, my God. Hey, Richie. You made a lot of people angry in Arizona, Richard. A lot of people have been watching the video games from the Bronx to the Queens to the Brooklyn. Hey, Richard, you made a lot of people very angry.
Michael Page. You know what, Bird? Check it out. I don't really care about anything that's going on in Arizona. Yes.
Oh, poor little Cracky. Poor little Cracky. You're in a lot of trouble now, Cracky.
From the feds and the FCC.
Cracky's been a bad boy. You've been a bad boy, Cracky. Naughty, naughty. Cracky's been a bad boy.
Motherfucker.
That's right, 250. Hey, 250, he made a lot of boys very angry. A lot of boys are very angry. You know, 250, the criminal element which comes out and mixed in wrongdoing under the guise of protection of Uncle Sam. They like to take credit for their work there, 250. And what happens is, when an imposter starts spewing and dropping names and imposterating, it makes people very angry, 250. It makes them very angry.
Sounds like it made these junkies.
Yeah, roger that. Roger that. I don't know, man. I don't know what Richie thinks. He's a G-man. 1 minute Richie's appointed by the president. I don't know what president. Maybe an alien president from another planet, you know. Because Richie makes all kind of claims. But the funniest shit is when he comes on and comments under Nora Sinclair. You gotta love that shit, man. That's Richie's other ego. Hey, Richie, you're really Nora Sinclair, huh? You're a female. We all know you're a sidewalk sissy bati boy, but damn, Richard.
That's true, 250. He does go by the name of Nora Sinclair. That's one of his one of his YouTube channels. He uses it on Google Plus. And what makes it worse, let me tell you what makes it worse, 250. He uses that same very handle on Power Talk. And he goes into Power Talk rooms and he tries to solicit little young boys to come into Utica Avenue so he can fornicate with them. That's right, 250. He uses the guise of a female, Nora Sinclair, the name, and a puppet, Mrs. Piggy, to go and try to solicit little young boys inside the kiddie rooms. That's right, 250.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Richard on that show, Predator Raw, with Chris Hansen. I'm surprised we haven't seen Richard on that show, soliciting young boys, man. Soliciting young boys to bring to his apartment. Yeah, I could see Crackhead doing that, you know? You filthy dog. Hey, Richard, you're a dog, man. Using an alias, Nora Sinclair, so you could solicit young men to your crack den over there, you little... Oh, man, I have no words for it. What do they call that, a predator? What do they call that, a pervert, a predator? Damn, you know what they do with people like that? We know what they do with people like that in prison, man. I don't even want to tell you, man.
That's a predatory pedophile. That's what that is. When he's inside the Power rooms and he's going into the grade aged rooms. They're T-rated where youngins hang out. You know, where the parents got parental figures, parental guidance figures and passwords on the room and where the children can go. He goes in the G-rated rooms there, 250, under the guise and mask of Mrs. Piggy from the Muppets. And he acts like a child, a female child, trying to solicit young boys, collecting their information on what school they go to in their area. That's right. He wants to know all the little boys who go to school in his immediate vicinity, so he can lure them in with a fucking lollipop, that fucking pedophile.
God damn. Take that shit to another.
You know what's sad? You know what's really sad? How you can bust Richard? Look at the commentary. It's all his word structure, his mannerisms. That's how stupid he is. You think he would change his wording around? He uses the same terminology. That's how dumb he is.
Matter. Doesn't matter. That's what got you, dude.
When you gonna pick the fucking play up? It's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess, this predatory pedophile. Predatory pedophile. Hey, 250, it's a problem, man. It's a big problem with him because his psychosis, he's using the line of him having 4 badges, presidential appointments, making commentary that he was an undercover officer. He's using fear-mongering and tactics to lure minors. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing, 250. Pedophile shit.
Well, we know he was doing that. We know he was doing that at 194 Utica with those young black men when he made that video in his hallway when they were shooting dice. So we know they're in and out of that apartment. You know, he promised them drugs. He would give them weed, K2, crack, whatever they wanted, you know, as long as they service him, you know. Because Richard liked to give brain. He definitely liked to give brain to young black men, you know, because Richard loves that black lollipop.
That's right, 250. I'm just going to give a piece of free advice. Anybody who wants to take it, could take it. Anybody who don't want to take it, they don't have to. If you give your kid one of them walkie-talkies, or if you gave your child one of them family member radio, FRMS radios, you got to be careful because Richie got one of those, and he goes and he listens to see if he can hear children playing, and then he keys the microphone and tries to fuck with the kids. That's right. That's right. The real Donnie Brasco was listening in. He kept quiet all this time. I tell you, Richard, the gig is up, my man. Hey, Richard, you're very close to the insane asylum right there in Brooklyn. Mental health services and central booking is only 1.5 miles away. Richard, they've been collecting That's right. Your own video gates are gonna do you in.
And that's the best part of it. His own mouth and his own video gates are all the evidence they need.
That's right, 250. Predatory pedophile. That's right. And now that he's got the right to go into the girl's bathroom, all he's got to say is that he identifies as a female, and he's going to go into the bathroom, and he's going to be in there with your daughters if you have any. Imagine he's got the right to be in the same bathroom now with a walkie-talkie as your children.
That is sick, man. Yeah, that's true, because now Richard has the right to use a woman's facility, you know, because he's with those, you like what they call them, same cross-gender or whatever the fuck they call themselves. Yeah, that's Richard, man. Because Richard go in with a dress, with lipstick and high heels, and claim that he's a female. Damn, Richard, man. You're a pedophile. You go after young children, man. You know, there's no excuse for that. You know, if it was up to me, hey, Bird, I would put a cap right in him, man. That would be my justice and my law. If I caught that cocksucker in one of those bathrooms doing that to young children. There's no excuse for that, man. Castration is not even the answer. Maybe that's what we should do. Because putting a cap in him might be too easy, man. You know, because that's what Richard wants. Richard wants out of this life. Richard is tired. The monster is getting him. The psychosis is getting him. Richard is tired. He wants to go bye-bye. But we're not going to give him the easy way out. Richard's got to go out and spend the rest of his crackhead life in prison, man, for being a pedophile and all the other things that he does, impersonating law enforcement, and all the other things that he does on a constant daily basis. Richard, I think someone's going to get you before the monster, and it's the lawman. They call me Enforcer 250 with my 5-pound steel hammer, just breaking the crackhead down, breaking Richard 127 down. Miss Nora Sinclair. Yeah, okay, Richard. We know that's what you. That's how you solicit children on the internet, Richard. That's how we know you go after the little young boys. You dirty dog, Richard. You're busted, disgusted, and cannot be trusted. I got one thing for you, Richard. Open up wide. You cocksucker.
That's right, 250. That's right. You're 100% right. Any man, anywhere I am, whether it be Facebook or Google or YouTube, I use the same name, the same picture. Birdman3931NY is the same email address. This way, there can't be no confusion. This guy, he got 50 different names. He uses the guys or females, cartoon muppets, to lure in little girls. Unfucking real. Unfucking real. With that, Mr. 250, I gotta go roll my sleeves up for $1 so I can pay the rent for the garage that I leased 2 days ago. And so Blackie can sit home, punch needles all day, stay on the pound truck, trying to lure little boys, and, pay for his drugs, rent, and EBT through my taxes. Mr. 250, the Birdman says good morning. Bye.
Yo, dude, we ain't gonna hold our breath waiting for your remote station up.
Damn. Took my exposure. Shame on a mess.
All right, Bird. Hey, Birdman, you take care, brother. You do what you got to do. Make that money. Make that money like the rest of us workers out here, so we could support pedophile, crackhead junkie like 127 Richard. We can support that crackhead pedophile. You know, we got to work so he can afford that Section 8 apartment. But, time is ticking, Richard. That Section 8 apartment is going to evaporate. New administration. All right? No more handouts, Richard. No more entitlements.
When you go listen to it, just talk that little bitch.
He identifies as a woman.
Go to that man.
And he can go into a woman's bedroom without being prosecuted.
This is from 20.
Yeah, because, between his being a junkie, hey, good evening there, Crazy Eddie. Between being a junkie and now he's one of those same-sex or cross-genders, whatever they call them. Like, It's sad, man, because I'm laughing because Richard thinks he's smarter than everyone else out here. But if you go in my last video, you see all the commentary by Nora Sinclair, AKA Richard 127 Crackhead, the solicitor of young men. Yeah, that's his other alias. He goes as Nora Sinclair, so he could go on as a female soliciting young boys, man. We all know your MO, Richard. You're a dog, and you're a pedophile, Richard. But you know what? It's all good because I'm gonna hold on to that gate. I'm not gonna take those commentary down for that reason, so law enforcement can see who you are, and they already know your structure, the way you speak, the words that you put together in your sentence. That's all you, crackhead. You used to do the same thing on Power Talk. See, that's Richard's other alias. That's his pedophile alias. He goes under Nora Sinclair.
Boy locked up, that dog is scratching. That dirty dog is scratching. He's trying like crazy. Hey, dog. Hey, man, don't be such a mutt.
No, it's true, 999. It's true, man. I'm on Power Talk. I'm on Power Talk, and I'm fucking telling you, he's in the fucking children. Because when you go into a certain room, it says that underneath your name, it tells you where you're at. It shows the public what room you can be found in.
You go to New York.
Hey, check this out. Hey, Birdman, check this out. He's out there bragging the past few days that you couldn't even ask CK. He told me to ask CK, because he thinks CK is some kind of hacker, that he has 3 devices where he becomes invisible on the internet. Now, why would you mask your identity unless you're trying to hide something? Am I correct? You don't have to be an internet genius, but why would you mask your identity, your IP, unless you're up to no good? And he outright admits that he has 3 devices on his computer when he goes online. It's in his own words. Well, hey, I don't know about you being stupid. I wouldn't say that. Hey, Birdman, I wouldn't say that, man. But what I would say is that Richard thinks everyone else out here is stupid. That's the problem. Hey, Richie, what happened to those 3 electronic devices that you mask your IP and the rest of your identification from your computer network? Isn't that a sign of masking your identity? Usually criminals do that, huh, Richard? What, so you could go on chat lines and you go into chat rooms identifying yourself as Nora Sinclair, a little girl looking for little boys, huh? Richard, your own words are you're going to be your downfall and your destruction, crackhead.
That's true story. There's only one reason to mask your IP and your property, especially on 3 levels. Only one reason. You know, it's interesting. Listen. It's interesting how he thinks that he's masking his IP by using proxy. Yet he gives out his address freely, like under the guise of Nora Sinclair. It is free.
Enforcer Jafar. And Bernie, well, that's
And the mutt is still barking. The mutt is still barking. A whole lot of barking, no bite. Shame on a mess.
Bishop 9, imagine he hides his fucking IP, but he gives out his physical address under the name Nora Sinclair. Why would you hide your IP and then freely give out your physical address? Because you're up to no good.
ultimate justify truth about himself in his own video.
That's right, Eddie. It's all in his own words, Eddie. We're not making this up. We're not making this up, Eddie. He claims that he's not, he claims he's someone who he's not. But he does go on chat rooms. He goes on Power Talk and he uses the alias Nora Sinclair. All right. Yet he has 3 electronic devices that mask his ID, his IP address, and so on and so forth. Why would you do that unless you're up to no good? See, it's in his own words. That's what I love about Crackhead. He spills the beans on himself. That's why you got junkies like that in jail, because they think they're smarter than the law. And Richard, yeah, keep using those masking units you have to mask your IP. It's all good, Richie, because they're a step ahead of you, Richard. You dirty pedophile, going as Nora Sinclair so you could chat with little boys. You're a dirty cocksucker, man. Damn, man. After you know, it's good because yesterday's video brought him out. See, you know what you got to do with pedophiles like Richard? You got to throw them a worm. You got to throw them some bait, you know. And they bite all the time, because you look at that show Predator and Predator Raw with Chris Hansen. These guys are repeated sex offenders. It's like, it's worse than crack cocaine for Richard, going after young boys. It's such an addiction for that junkie that he don't know what to do, because you know, I wouldn't even say it's a disease. It's just a filthy desire that they have. And like I said, that's the lowest of low you can go. All right, fucking with children, man. All right, you can't get lower than that. You know, I can forgive the junkie for smoking crack, but when you start going as under aliases in chat rooms as Nora Sinclair, try to solicit young boys, come on, man. There's no excuse for that, man. For me, if I caught him doing that, I would put him in the big house and I would let them go to work on him, because that's what they do to pedophiles. But then again, he'll probably be in PC, man. You know, he's going to be in protective custody, because they got their own little group of sick individuals, pedophiles, that like to do that shit. So, Richard, you'll be protected by fellow pedophiles, Richard. Shame on you, Richard. Man, I thought it was just crack that got the best of you, man. But look at that. Now you're a child, oh, man, child pedophile. You're a sick bastard, Richard. Shame on you.
They'll fucking gang rape them in the showers. That's what they'll do. That's what they do with pedophiles in the big house. They gang rape them in the showers.
They convinced them you were smoking crack for that.
Yeah, but he'll like that. Getting gang raped in the shower, that's his dream. That's not a threat. That's not a deterrent for Richard.
Well, 9 out of 10 times they beat the crap out of him too, so it's a good chance, man. He ain't gonna survive. But that's a shame, man. That's nasty, Richie. That's a nasty thing, man. Hey, dog, that's dirty. That's why I call it dirty, dog.
Take down all my antenna equipment.
You're going to need to take down your antenna equipment and your radio, and you're going to need to move out of there. Because when law enforcement gets wind of what you've been up to, Richard, with that alias, and once they track all those conversations you had in chat rooms with young boys, hey, Richard, I might even call that show up with Chris Hansen, and they may pay a visit to you, Richard. Because, you know, they all those logs that you submit on your computer, every keystroke, Richard, it's all documented. All right, I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but every keystroke on your computer is documented. All right, every bit of information, even if you try to delete it on your hard drive, can be retrieved, Richard. Let me not say too much, because I don't want him to start burning his computer or dumping it. We want that well, you know, even if you got rid of your computer, Richard, they still have all that documented. All these search engines, they keep all of that stored, man. And the law enforcement gets it whenever they need it. Richard, that's it. It's your demise right there, Richard. Your own words. Your own words and your own identity did you in. And those 3 devices you claim you have that mask your identification, your IP address, so on and so forth, is not going to help you, Richard. And if they catch you with that, that's like getting caught with a silencer on a firearm. You're automatically guilty, Richard. Yeah. Don't cry for me, Argentina, Richard. You're done. They call me the Enforcer 250. This is a good video, man. There's going to be a lot of hits on this video today, because I know Richard's keying up, or trying to key up on me. So anyone wants to see, oh yeah, the discovery of Richie as Nora Sinclair, the pedophile, just watch my video. I'm going to put this out as Richie, the pedophile, has been exposed. You're going to love it. Enforcer 250 around the lower deck, and I just got down.
You cut off. Roger, right on.
Damn. He got put on blast this morning, Richie. Shit.
I've been trying to nurse this first cup of coffee I didn't pour down.
He's still trying to drink that first cup of coffee. You believe that?
Yo, man, every time
That's because he's been exposed. Hey, Eddie, he's so fucked up right now because of what we found out, what me and Birdman just put together. You see, it's good because, like I said, you throw these pedophiles a little worm, a little bait, and they bite all the time, man. It's like throwing them a hit of crack or a pack of K2. He just can't resist it. time after time. If you remember Predator on MSNBC with Chris Hansen, you had creeps like Richard all the time appearing on the show, all right? And a lot of times they're second and third offense. They just can't help it. Richard loves cock. That's the bottom line. He likes pipe, all right? Whatever he does with an adult, that's his business. If he likes big black men, all right? That's between two consensual adults. But when you fuck with children, I have no forgiveness for that.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, man. I remember that show. You had people then going on there that were businessmen, well-made people. I mean, low life. You had all types of people, man, and they just can't. It's a sick addiction, but it's like I said, man. There's no room in society for people like that. You know, like you said.
Video game and a radio.
Well, just check it out. Just check out yesterday's video. Maybe you did. I don't know. Just look under the name Nora Sinclair. That's Richie's other alias. That's where Richie utilized. That's the alias he utilizes to go into chat rooms with young boys, and that's how he used to solicit on 194 Utica in his own video with those little black men, little black boys, and they're teenagers, you know. But still, he's a pedophile. You know, there's no excuse for him desiring young boys. Like I said, what he does between him and a consensual adult, that's different. You know, if he wants to bring 20, 30-year-old men over, big black men, all right, that's his business. But when you fuck with children, man, you know, let me tell you, that just eats me up inside, because, you know, they're innocent. You know what I'm saying? Children are innocent. And when you corrupt the innocent like that, Richard, you sicken me to my stomach, Richard. I'm really sick to my stomach. This cup of coffee I have, I want to throw up. Richard, you really went too far. All right? Your crack addiction is one thing. You're living with big black men is another. But when you fuck with children, Nora Sinclair, AKA Richie 127, you done it, Richie. And believe me, don't think law enforcement is not listening to this conversation, Richard. And I'm going to keep my info on the page. I'm going to keep all that information, your words, everything that you use the other alias on the Nora Sinclair, Richard. I'm going to have all that information for whoever needs it. All right? Because you're going down, Richard. Pedophile, sex offender. I hope you're a registered sex offender in that area. I wonder if your landlord knows about this, Richard.
Mr. Enforcer, my landlord knows everything. Try to put out there on the bandwagon, you know what my landlord says? Bust that ass, Richie.
Yeah, well, your ass gonna get busted in prison, man. When you get taken down for being a child pornographer. Hey, Richard, shame on you, man. Shame on you. That's all I got to say. I hope you're a registered sex offender, Richard, because after this video goes live, Richard, there's gonna be a lot of inquiring minds gonna want to know what's really going on, Richard, behind those other aliases that you use. Nora Sinclair, Richie 127, huh? How many pages do you have up? What other alias do you go by, Richard? Huh? We all know you got about 15 different names you use, but Nora Sinclair as a woman? Come on, Richard, you went too far, dog.
And he's obsessed. That's the only word that comes to my mind, man.
And then you got an idiot like 206 that's gonna defend him. See, that's the sad part. You see, this isn't even kidding around. For someone to defend Richie at this point, it makes me wonder what's in it for him. This isn't even a joke, man. Hey, 206, if I were you, seriously, I would stay out of this, because what Richie's been doing is a sex offense, man. All right, and it's not a joking matter. This is real. So 206, if you're defending Richie, if you're defending a known sex offender, a predator of children, then you're just as bad as him. They call me Enforcer 250. This video is gonna go ballistic. You're gonna see how many hits I'm gonna get on my YouTube page. And I'm not, I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to be no law enforcement person out here. But what I don't like anyone that fucks with children, man. Because let me tell you, that's the innocent of this world. And once you corrupt their minds, their heart, and their soul, there's no going back. Richard, you're going to go down for this one. They call me Enforcer 250 around the lower deck. Let me get another cup of Java. I'll be back.
Well, Mr. Enforcer, everybody here's your threats. I'm never going down. Especially not for this one. Be a cold day in his life.
Hey, Danny boy, good morning. Yeah, man. Yeah, you need a big radio, brother. That's what I was looking for, man. I got this bipolar finals here. 2 bipolar finals on this Barefoot Magnum S9, man. That's all we got.
Yeah, Roger on a bipolar finals out there. Yo, man, one of these days, I'm gonna get me a big radio.
Worldwide radio.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's not worldwide radio, isn't it?
Hey, look at that right there. Look at that right there.
24-6, how are you, man?
Hey, top of the morning, 314.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk to you yesterday. That fucking guy in the Bronx was playing that fucking movie or some shit. Who's that crazy idiot?
Yeah, a lot of big radios out there, 314. But, yeah, I was out there. You were sounding good, man. You were sounding good, considering that you're over there, Long Island City, Queens, man. You're sounding good, no doubt.
I sound good? I got a different little box, man, but I don't know if it does the job or not.
Yeah, you're almost into a 5 over here in Newark.
I got a couple of boxes over here for sale, brand new in the box. I got a couple of boxes over here, a couple of 2 pills, 1 pill, whatever y'all clowns want. Come see me, man. I'll install it and match the radio for a flat-out 5-0. Oh, all the work done for a 50 with the sale, I'm clear.
Well, 1 and 4, how much you supposed to push in the damn thing? 1 and 4, how much you supposed to push?
1 driving 4?
Yeah, how much you supposed to push, Rich?
When I'm done with the installing the radio, you could top out around 700 watts, dude. The nominal run like that is 120 times 4, 100 plus 1. You're looking at 580 pep watts. Take the lift get back her.
You don't think it's outside now?
My name is Richie, man, early in the morning. I like to spank it early in the morning the week.
Morning, Richie Radio. I'm in it to win it, baby. I don't talk red eye, I talk facts. I got boxes here, I'm clear.
He's got boxes of rocks.
Not the job the way it is now.
Yeah, when it's all done, you...
Hey, dog.
Yeah, I need me a 1x4, man. I need a bigger box. My 2 pills still fucked up, man.
I got one. I got a fat boy, 1 like...
And if you want to do it with the RMS math, it's 80 watts times 4, which leaves you 320, and 60 on the driver, which leaves you 380. So if you really must know, you're looking at about, I don't know, about, 300 bird. The king of New York, my quad.
Hey, 314, so you got one. You're not running it?
No, I got one. I got 2 fat boys. I got 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, nice and quiet. This is the way I like it. Junkie free, crackhead free. Nora Sinclair free.
Hey, 10-4 in the 1x...
Richie thought he could fool us with a different alias. Richard, you're going down, dog.
If you don't have the proper power cables for the...
That junkie monkey's going down.
More than half of the junkie roll. A little bit more than what you're using to push that 1x...
How about it, Richard, AKA Nora Sinclair? How about it, Cracky? You're going down. You gotta love it. You gotta love it out of sex offender crackhead, how he does it. You gotta love it. Thinks he's gonna get away with it. It's all over for you, junkie.
The job because I went to the guy to check and he fucking confused.
Yeah,
Yeah, and on the safe side, you could do it at about 120 amps on that 1x4 to be safe. I don't know if you can get yourself an alternator that big in the.
Just watch all the hits I got on this morning's video. Just watch. That junkie got exposed. He got exposed big time.
Anybody know who 250 talking to out here?
That junkie got exposed. That junkie got exposed this morning. Huh? Richard 127, AKA Nora Sinclair. Huh? You got exposed this time, Cracky. Alright? You could try to hide behind various aliases, but it's not going to help you. You're going down.
14. He goes talking to his own video game.
You're going down. Don't worry who I'm talking to, Richard. Just worry who's going to be coming for you.
I got.
You just worry about who's coming for you, Richard. Richard, if I were you, man. Richard, I don't want to say what to do because I don't want to, I don't want to give anything away. Richard, they got you this time, Richard. All right, your crack addiction is one thing, but when you fuck with children, Richard, there's no excuse. There's no forgiving for that, Richard. You're going down.
I don't know, 206. I'd hate to be the exposed fraudulent junkie. Let me get back home. Oh, shit. I'm going for a video game up clear.
You know what they should buy, Richard? They should get him one of those sex dolls. See, that's what Richard needs. So Richard at least can have a companion, a partner. This way he'll stay off the chat room with children. And he don't have to invite any more big black men over. And teenagers. Hey, Richard, they should get you a sex doll. A sex doll with a prick. That's what you need, Richard. You need a male sex doll. One of those rubber dolls. They should send you one, Richard.
Once you're done with the video game, Doug Parker's talking to himself.
This way, it'll tame his appetite. You know what I mean? Because that's all Richard wants. Richard just wants prick. Richard wants the male organ.
Yours is how he covers it up with his own video.
Enforcer's video game, man. Enforcer's recorded now, so I was just checking it out yesterday, man. Somebody put a like on it. I don't know if it was Richie or Sinclair. It came up to my page and I was checking it out, man. The boy Ghost Dogs.
Yeah, isn't it funny how Richie and 206 claim they never watch my page, yet they're always watching and putting comments on it? Don't you love it? Don't you love it how these junkies, they lie to themselves? They can't lie to us. They can't lie to the YouTube public. They can't lie, man. Forget about it. Hey, Pedro. We catch you watching my videos and your boyfriend there, Nora Sinclair, aka Crackhead 127. All right, we know he's both. Those are both his identities. All right, you got your boyfriend there, Richard, that made it clear out here that he masked his IP address. He claims he actually it's all there in his own words that he has 3 electronic devices, so he can mask his identification when he's roaming around the chat rooms looking for boys. Hey, Richard, you're done, man. You're a sexual, what they call a sexual deviant. You're a pedophile, a stalker. Richard, you're done. You're going down.
The man who don't do no drugs, the man who doesn't smoke cigarettes, let me guess, he just had a funeral. He was lighting those 12 candles. I got down.
Well, I don't know what candles you're talking about. I don't know what flicking you're talking about. That's your crackhead partner in your background lighting up one of your crack pipes, Richard. Because let me tell you, there's no cigarette lighters in my possession. I have no need for cigarette lighters. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do drugs. I don't even drink, Richard. See, you wish I was like you. You wish I was a junkie like you, Richard. But you know what? I'm a civil servant, Richard. I get drug tested all the time, constantly. I couldn't be any kind of junkie like you, Richard, and possess the position and the job that I have. Richard, keep envying you, bitch.
Oh my God, what the hell am I walking into here? Lord have mercy, we got crackheads and drunks and everything else out here. What the hell going on out here? Good morning, y'all. Welcome to Hump Day, Hump Day, Hump Day, Hump Day. Mr. Brown Hornet is in the Big Apple.
Hey, good morning there. Good morning, Mr. Brown Hornet. They call me Enforcer 250. I'm just exposing a junkie and a pedophile out there. He goes by the name of Richie 127, AKA Nora Sinclair. Just exposing that crackhead junkie for who he is and what he is. You got that?
Alright. Turn it on, Mr. Enforcer. So you're exposing Richie. Mr. 127, what do you call him? Pistol grip. Richie, crackhead, pedophile. Great, you shake it there. I tell you, boy, you'll know somebody till you know him.
Well, I'm not making allegations, sir. I'm not making up stories. I'm not trying to badmouth anyone, but it's documented. The man goes by various aliases. One by Richie 127, and when he's in chat rooms with young boys, he goes by the alias Nora Sinclair. You could check it out on my page, on his commentary on my page. He goes by Nora Sinclair. He goes as a young female, so he can solicit young boys. You know, that is no excuse for that, man. You know, we could kid around and talk trash about one another, but when you're a pedophile, sex offender like that, that hits deep, dog. You know what I'm saying? There's no excuse for that. It was up to me, I'll put one right in his dome. That's my my answer to pedophiles. But you know what? I'm civilized. We have a so-called civilized society, and we can't do that. So what do? We lock up cats like that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's the scoop. You could check out the commentary on my was it yesterday's video. Just go to my page, Enforcer Space 250, and you can look at yesterday's video, and look at the commentary. Look under the commentary, Laura Sinclair. That's Richie 127 under the other alias. He claims he has 3 devices to mask his IP address. The only reason you want to mask your IP is if you're up to no good, if you're a criminal. The same reason people put a criminal will put a silencer on a firearm. There's only one reason you want to do that. That's to kill. All right. Rich's intention with that other alias, with masking his IP, is because he's a pedophile. He doesn't want to get caught. But you know what? Law officials, they're up on that. All right. They're 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of that dog. It's all good because at the end, Richard, you're going down. They call me Enforcer 250, somewhere around the lower deck. Let me finish the rest of my coffee here. Then I just got down. Well, you know what? There's a lot of, sometimes you don't know who you're talking to. Sometimes you don't even know who your own neighbor is until they get busted. It's like that, dog. This is reality. You know what I'm saying? AA driver, this is reality, man. Sometimes you don't even know who your own duck plucking neighbor is until the police come with and snatch him up with handcuffs. You know, that's why you have to have these sex offenders. They have to be listed, right? They have to be in a database, and you have the right to go on that search. You could search any local sex offenders. You have that right and privilege as a citizen. I'm gonna start searching for Richard's name on any local databases for sex offenders around Utica Avenue. I think everyone listening should also do the same. And if you see Richard Cappy, don't be surprised.
Audio, Sound King Radio. Sound King Radio. And do I sound like I'm nervous? Do I sound like I'm the one that got busted?
My goodness, boy. You're right. You can go. You can do. You know this database and search stuff, brother. But you gotta know your name, and you gotta either know their name or know what they look like. See, I never met Richie firsthand personally. You know, I just talked to him on the radio, so I know a little bit what you know the fucking name. Ooh, that's a lot of it. Hey, Mr. Chris, can you come on here and defend yourself? What's going on with this noise I'm getting here? How about Mr. Pistol Grip? You got a strong copy. How about Mr. Pistol Grip? Brown Hornet Suburban right here, right.
Brown Hornet, yo, Brown Hornet. We stinging him like a queen bee, man. We stinging that dog like a...
You see, he references himself to a queen bee, not a male bee, a queen bee. You see that? He always uses female references. That's his deception.
Well, Mr. Brown Hornet, we're stinging him like a queen bee.
Seems like someone's dropping a hammer. It seems like someone's dropping a DC on Richard, man. Someone don't want Cracky to talk out there. Someone's dropping a DC on that crackhead 127. Lord have mercy. Anyway, hey driver. Hey driver, I gotta get out of here. I mean, you have a good one. Crazy Eddies, if you're still out there, whoever else might be out there, just check out my latest video that I'm gonna put out there this morning, and it totally exposes Richie 127, aka Nora Sinclair. That's his other alias. He goes into chat rooms to look for boys, young boys. He's a solicitor. He's a child pedophile, man. And he even admits that he has 3 electronic devices to mask his IP address so he doesn't get caught. But Richard, they're a step ahead of you, dog. You got people that work for the government who are former hackers that can see right through those 3 devices, Richard. You're done. Anyway, let me get out of here. Check out my latest video this morning. It's going to be in 2 parts. Alright, part 1 and 2, but it's going to be under the same title. Just check out my latest video on that crackhead 127, aka Richie 127, aka Nora Sinclair, the pedophile that got exposed and busted this morning. You'll love it, man. And he admits in his own words that he has 3 masking devices when he's in chat rooms with young boys. Check it out. Check it out on my page. Just type in Enforcer space 250 and sit back, have some popcorn, and enjoy. I gotta go, man. I gotta head to the salt mine. You have a good morning out there, drivers. And don't forget, they call me Enforcer 250, provider of truth and justice the American way. And I'm back out.
And now he's begging everybody in New York City he cursed out to go to his video channel. Boy, I tell you, Richie is the best, baby.
Holy crap.